We now turn to the National Football League, ESPN, and specifically First Take's Max Kellerman, as he went on to discuss and rant about the legacy of Brett Favre against the legacy of Aaron Rodgers. Take a look, and then we'll discuss.
Aaron Rodgers better than Brett Favre. Brett Favre on his own. I love Brett Favre. Love watching him. Love for him to be the quarterback of my team. He's one of the all-time greats. He was always overrated by the media because the media used to actually say it's the greatest quarterback of all time. Never. Never. That was just simply not the case. But he was among the greatest, sure. And he was fun to watch. Never as good as Aaron Rodgers is right now. Not on his best day. Aaron Rodgers clearly a superior player. So why does Brett Favre get the love? Wrangler jeans, Stephen A. He gives you the sense, Brett Favre, he's the prototypical quarterback that people like to look for. Like, that feels like the right kind of quarterback.
Nah, man. Nah. You brought up a good point, so I'll get into mine in a second.
Kellerman.
Huh?
I like Max Kellerman. I'm just saying, Stephen A. No, I'm not making fun of him. Actually, he shrugs a lot.
Yes, you are.
No, the thing is, but I had a Max Kellerman, I think, impersonation before, and it was way off. But it's only because I like Max Kellerman. He's right a lot of the time.
He is.
He's right here.
Which part?
This whole thing he just said.
But I don't think any, I'm not saying any, I think a majority of the media pool of NFL writers, non-NFL writers, sports media personnel. We never said Brett Favre was the greatest of all time. Get out of here with that garbage. You know what we said? Joe Montana. And then you know who surpassed Joe Montana? Tom Brady. Those are the two. Like, are we really gonna say, oh, well, Brett Favre was with one team and he won one title, so Johnny Unitas is the greatest quarterback of all time?
This is the thing. They don't say it, but it's...
Come on, man.
It's baked into his legacy.
Let's
keep
this.
It real.
No,
Brett Favre,
absolutely not.
Listen, you know why? Because
he won one Super Bowl.
You know who knows that? Nobody knows that. Everybody thinks this man won 4 Super Bowls because they're thinking about how awesome he was. You see him running around the field with his helmet off. You see that time that Warren Sapp sacked him and he hit him on his head like, yeah, hit me again, big brother. He had, and the thing is, good job, Brett, because he did it well. What he did was he appealed to the media. He appealed to those same sports writers and talkers who usually hate people who are in great positions. But he's like, you're a good guy, I like him, look at him. And you know what? I saw a different clip. I don't know if you have it.
I do not.
When Stephen A. Smith, who is good at his job, said,
wow, that was an interesting ending to that sentence.
No, I like Stephen A.
It's like your mind was racing and you were checking off which part you were gonna say and you were like, no. Ding, 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 good guy. We'll leave it at that.
He did his job.
All right.
No, Stephen A. brought up how he did a very similar thing that I like to do when I actually did with Tom Brady. Like, oh, I remember he's just like running around the backyard. This is the way quarterbacks should be. He put that character out there. He was great at his PR. Brett Favre
Yes. I agree with that.
The layman football watcher or the casual watcher who only watches Super Bowls is like, Brett Favre was one of the greatest of all time, wasn't he? They think so. But really, and people are gonna hate me for it, Mark Sanchez was a poor man's Brett Favre. Mark Sanchez was the same kind of quarterback that Brett Favre was.
This is the point in time.
Listen, let me finish the point.
I don't have to hear the end of it. This is the point in time where if we were on the Dan Le Batard show, it'd be 2 minutes in the penalty box.
You know why?
Saying something
why?
So blasphemous.
Do you know why?
Why?
It's blasphemous because we loved Brett Favre and we hated Mark Sanchez when they're the same kind of quarterback.
Not at all.
They are. You know what they both did?
So he channeled Brett Favre for like one season. Is that what you're saying? 2 seasons. Sorry, 2 seasons.
Did he have 2 good seasons?
Yes.
Okay, so
they went to AFC title games back-to-back years, and then he fell off a cliff. Yes, it was 2 years.
And then before that and after that, he never did anything. Only AFC championship games.
Well, that's not true.
Then there was no playoffs.
He was dancing with his shirt off, with a hair tie around his beautiful man bun, shirtless in Mexico with a bunch of IG models. He did that.
Yeah. And
I don't want to bring it up, but he had the butt fumble, which is not the way that I perceive him. It's the way that a lot of NFL fans perceive him. But he had 2 good seasons.
Do you know why? Because
he also had great defenses,
because the sports organization played it a million times. That's why. You remember it. You know what else they played a million times? Brett Favre running across the field like this. So it's all about perception and how much they'll show. But as far as the way they played the game, they both were gunslingers. and they both threw a lot of interceptions.
But
no one remembers that. If you say, hey, you remember Mark Sanchez threw all those interceptions? They go, oh, yeah, I totally remember that, and the butt fumble. And you go, remember that time that Brett Favre threw all those interceptions? They'd go, no, I don't remember that. You know why? Because we didn't emphasize that. That's what I'm talking about. They're the same kind of guy. And I liked Brett Favre. I remember watching, this is before the butt fumble, I remember watching Mark Sanchez and going, man, he plays just like Brett Favre. Because he did.
Mark Sanchez, as a starter, 8-7 his first year, 11-5 the next, 8-8 the next. In those seasons, here's what he did. The first season, where they went 8-7, 12 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. The next season, when they went 11-5, 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. When they went 8-8, 26 touchdowns, 18 interceptions.
Sure did.
Those 2 times, though, that they went to the playoffs, it was partially because of Mark Sanchez. He was good. He was better than like Dilfer with the Ravens. We can say that in his Super Bowl run. But it was the defense that helped him and helped Rex Ryan. And also helped Rex Ryan get the next job.
Isn't that weird how football is a team sport?
Yeah.
Weird how that works.
One thing I'd like to bring up real quick. Can we pull up this graphic? Aaron Rodgers versus Brett Favre, Green Bay greats. Do you notice one thing that is missing on this graphic? If you see it, shout it out. Does anybody notice what is missing on this graphic?
How many years?
This is how
he played?
ESPN and some other outlets do this.
How many years
to make
Brett
their
Favre
point?
played?
Years is important, which I'll show you in a moment.
Because that's another comparison factor.
Just tell me one thing that you think is missing.
The Reebok logo and Aaron Rodgers jersey under the NFL.
Let me say this one more time. Let me say this one more time. There are many outlets that do this to make their case. Here at TYT, we don't. Let's show our graphic, which is the very next one. Seasons. I think that's important.
Right.
The other one, MVPs. Go back to the first one. It's not making their point good enough to throw in MVPs. Favre had 3. He was the best player in all of the league 3 times. Aaron Rodgers has done it twice.
How MVPs crowned? Who votes for MVP?
By the writers. You just trying to tell me that Aaron Rodgers is hated by the writers?
No. What I'm trying to tell you is Brett Favre is loved by the writers.
Yeah, he is. He is loved by the writers, but he was also a damn good football player. My main point is
said he was
they
bad.
did not want to throw that in because they are both, like Stephen A. Smith is like, he's a bad man. About Aaron Rodgers, right? Bad man. And then Max Kellerman is making his point about how Aaron Rodgers usurps anything Brett Favre did. It doesn't make their case better that he has an MVP on him. And Aaron Rodgers could easily win 3 more. And then they'll throw it in to make their point.
Yep.
I'm just calling out the hypocrisy.
And sometimes it's based on the era you're in, who you compete against. You know, how if you're in the era of the Patriots and Tom Brady, you're not going to win very many MVPs nor Super Bowls.
Right.
So it's just the way it works. The greats of the NBA who had to go up against Michael Jordan, they could have won championships if he wasn't
Patrick
there.
Ewing.
The Rockets won 2 when he took 2 years off.
Poor Patrick Ewing.
Keep it real. So
Patrick Ewing went to 1 finals because Michael Jordan was out.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Rockets.
It's always tough to compare guys in different eras because so many things are different in each era. Different players are there,
Very
different
much
systems
so.
are there. And also, let's keep it real.
Yep.
Going back to comparisons, certain teams you're on help you be more successful on those in that small window you have.
Alrighty.
Just saying.
Let us know your thoughts. Comment section below. Subscribe to TYT Sports. You know what's my favorite song? You could ring my bell. So do it, why don't you? Ring the damn bell. And download the TYT app. Available on Android and iOS.